It chains your mind, bends your emotions, and turns you into a prisoner of your own doubts. It controls you from within, making you feel powerless, making you believe that you are incapable of breaking free from the chains it creates. But Machiavelli would laugh at such weakness. He understood that the mind is a battlefield, and that only those with ruthless discipline win the war within. Today, you'll learn 7 brutal Machiavellian laws designed to kill negative thinking and rewire your mind with ruthless wisdom. This won't be a soft motivational speech. No, this is the cold truth, straightforward, unyielding, and powerful. Understand this. If you want to rise above mediocrity, you must learn to silence the noise inside your own head. Every doubt, every fear, every excuse, they die here. It belongs to those who sharpen their minds into a weapon and strike first against their own weakness. Say it with me in the comments. My mind bends to no weakness. And stay with me, because by the end, you won't just destroy negative thinking, you will forge your mind into steel. Negative thoughts are not just annoyances. They are parasites that quietly infect your mind and grow stronger every day. Most people try to handle them by swatting at the branches, simply dealing with the symptoms, hoping they'll disappear with time. But here's the truth. Those branches are only the surface. The real power behind negative thinking lies deep at the root, and unless you cut that root, it will continue to grow and spread, even if you manage to chop off its branches temporarily. Machiavelli would never waste time with shallow efforts. He knew that true strength doesn't lie in fighting symptoms. It lies in eradicating the source of the problem. This is a brutal but necessary law. When doubt enters your mind, don't argue with it. Don't reason with it. Don't try to convince yourself it's wrong. You crush it immediately. You don't wait for it to fester and grow. You strike cold and fast, attacking the root where it begins. Identify where it comes from. Is it fear? Is it insecurity? Is it the fear of failure? Once you find the root, you kill it without hesitation. A mind infected with hesitation is a mind that bends to others. Every time you hesitate, every time you entertain those doubts, you allow weakness to seep in. You let it take root in your mind, and it will control you. But a mind that eradicates doubt at the root becomes immovable. Imagine a fortress where every crack in the walls is sealed the moment it's discovered. That's the power of cutting the root. That's how you fortify your mind against weakness. You don't entertain thoughts that weaken you. You don't let them linger. You strike them down the moment they appear. When you catch yourself spiraling into negative thought patterns, whether it's self-doubt, fear of failure, or insecurity, you must act decisively. Replace hesitation with action. Replace fear with clarity. Ask yourself what must be done right now, and take action. You don't wait for permission. You don't negotiate with the negativity. You simply do what needs to be done. The key here is not just to fight negative thinking, but to destroy thought, the very source. Most men struggle with their doubts, letting them linger and grow. They hope that by distracting themselves, they can forget about the fear. But the stoic warrior doesn't run from it. He doesn't bury it. He cuts it down, ruthlessly and decisively, before it can take root. You might be asking yourself, what does this really mean for me in practice? It means you stop entertaining thoughts that weaken you. Every time you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, or I'm afraid of failing, you don't allow those thoughts to linger. You don't give them a place in your mind. You cut them off at the root by taking action, by making a decision, by moving forward without hesitation. Imagine this. The next time you start to doubt yourself, when the voice in your head says, you're not strong enough, you don't let it run wild. Instead, you stop it cold. You remind yourself that the only thing holding you back is your hesitation. The moment you stop hesitating and act, that doubt dies. It has no power over you. And once you train your mind to respond this way consistently, you'll notice that your doubts become weaker, easier to dismiss, and less frequent. This is not a one-time effort. It is a daily practice. Every time you feel negative thinking creeping in, whether it's self-doubt, insecurity, or fear, you immediately confront it. You don't give it space to breathe. You make the choice to strike first, to take decisive action before it can take root. Remember this, the mind is a battlefield, and every time you hesitate, you give your enemy more ground. But every time you act decisively, You destroy the enemy before it even stands a chance. The more you practice this principle, the stronger your mental fortitude becomes. You become a warrior who is unshaken, unbending, and unstoppable. Every time you act without hesitation, you reinforce your strength. Every time you silence the negative thoughts before they take root, you build the fortress of your mind. And soon, your mind becomes a place where weakness cannot grow. It becomes a place where only strength and clarity can exist. So, what must you do now? Cut the root, not the branch. Kill the negativity before it can spread. Don't waste time trying to reason with doubt. Eradicate it the moment it enters your mind. This is how you begin to forge a mind of steel, a mind that is unmovable in the face of any challenge. Say it now in the comments. I kill weakness at the root. This is your first step to rewiring your mind into an unbreakable fortress. Once you master this, no whisper of negativity can grow into a storm. You will be the one to dominate your thoughts, and in doing so, you will dominate your world. Negative thinking is not reality, is merely an interpretation, a shadow cast over the facts by your mind. It's weakness disguised as truth. Perception is the lens through which you see the world, and that lens is often clouded with doubts, fears, and self-imposed limitations. If you allow your perception to be shaped by fear, rejection, or failure, then those perceptions will rule your life. The problem is not the events that happen to you. The problem is how you interpret those events. Machiavelli understood this truth deeply. He knew that men are not destroyed by the harshness of truth. They are destroyed by their own interpretations of that truth. And most men are slaves to their perception of reality. The coward sees rejection and calls it humiliation. The weak man sees loss and calls it failure. The successful man, the strategist, sees rejection as data, loss as training, and failure as a stepping stone on the path to victory. Perception is power, and if you don't master it, it will master you. The reality is simple. How you perceive your challenges will either make or break you. If you see every obstacle as a roadblock, every rejection as a personal failure, every setback as a sign of defeat, then you will remain weak. But if you choose to see every challenge as an opportunity to grow, every failure as a lesson, every rejection as a chance to improve, then you will have mastered perception, and in doing so, you will have taken control of your destiny. When doubt creeps in, don't give it the power to shape your story. Strip it of its illusion. When you face rejection, you don't see it as humiliation. You see it as data. You don't see loss as failure. You see it as training. You don't see fear as a threat. You see it as fuel for your next move. The Machiavellian does not bend to the narrative that life hands him. He bends the narrative to his own will. He rewrites the meaning of every event that comes his way, and by doing so, he controls his own reality. Imagine this. You're facing an obstacle. Maybe it's a failure, a setback, or a criticism. Most people would look at this and feel deflated. They'd feel discouraged, disheartened. But not the Stoic warrior, not the Machiavellian. The Machiavellian looks at the same obstacle and asks, what can I learn from this? Instead of allowing that obstacle to define him, he allows it to teach him. He takes the lesson, he builds upon it, and he becomes stronger. Every perceived failure becomes data. Every challenge becomes fuel. Every rejection becomes evidence that he is moving in the right direction. But it all starts with choosing how you perceive the situation. If you let your emotions control how you interpret the world, you will always be at the mercy of external forces. When the world mocks you, don't hear shame. Hear proof that you are untouchable. When failure strikes, don't see collapse. See the chance to rebuild, stronger and sharper. When fear whispers, don't surrender. Hear it, acknowledge it, and then use it as fuel to move forward. The Machiavellian chooses what lens to wear. He chooses to see obstacles as opportunities. He chooses to see setbacks as lessons. He chooses to see criticism as a chance to improve. And by doing so, he shapes his own reality. The weak man drowns in his interpretation of events because he sees them through a lens of fear, doubt, and insecurity. But the Machiavellian bends perception into a weapon. He decides what everything means. And by doing so, he controls the narrative of his life. What would your life look like if you chose to control your perceptions in this way? What if you could reframe every difficulty, every setback, and every failure into an opportunity to become stronger? What if you could decide what every challenge means, instead of letting the challenge decide for you? This is the power of perception, and it is within your control. You are the one who chooses what your experiences mean. Think about it. What do you see when you face adversity? Do you see failure, or do you see a lesson? Do you see rejection, or do you see an opportunity to sharpen your skills? Do you see fear, or do you see fuel for your next move? The moment you change your perception, you change your life. And once you master this law, no event can break you. You will be unbending, unshaken, and unshakable. But this is not about pretending everything is easy or denying reality. This is about understanding that you can control how you perceive what happens to you. The world may throw challenges your way, but your perception of those challenges is what determines whether you rise or fall. Say it now in the comments. I command perception. Perception does not command me. This is more than just a mindset. It's a declaration of power. It's the moment you take control of your own narrative. It's the moment you stop letting external events dictate your emotions, your actions, or your mindset. When you dominate perception, you dominate your life. And here's the secret. Perception is a weapon. It's a tool that can either hold you back or propel you forward. And the moment you take control of it, you become unstoppable. Every obstacle becomes fuel for your fire. Every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth. And every setback becomes a stepping stone on your path to greatness. This is how the Machiavellian wins the mental war. He controls his perception, and in doing so, he controls his destiny. It's time to take the reins of your own reality. Reframe your world. Master your perception. And when you do, the world will bend to your will. Every kingdom that falls does not fall because of the strength of its enemies, but because of the weakness of its internal defenses. The cracks, the betrayals, the rot, these are the things that destroy empires from within. Your mind is no different. The greatest enemy you will ever face is not out there in the world. It is inside of you. It is the negative thoughts, the doubts, the weaknesses, and the self-sabotage that you allow to take root and grow. The Machiavellian knows that if his mind is not fortified, if his inner walls are weak, then he is already defeated before any external threat even arrives. If you leave your inner defenses open, negativity will flood in. You will be conquered by your own thoughts before the battle even begins. That is why the Machiavellian builds the fortress mind. A fortress mind is built on discipline, ruthless, uncompromising, daily discipline. Imagine your mind as a citadel. Picture it towering above the chaos of the world, surrounded by strong walls, guarded by vigilant sentinels. This is your mental fortress. And within these walls, only thoughts that strengthen you are allowed. Only ideas that serve your purpose are welcomed inside. Everything else, doubt, fear, negativity, are kept outside, where they belong. Most men fail because they open their gates to anything. They let doubt walk right in. They let fear settle in like a quiet poison. They let the opinions of others eat away at them, like termites, slowly destroying the structure. And before they know it, their fortress is crumbling. They don't fall because of external forces. They fall because their defenses were weak to begin with. The Machiavellian, however, is different. He does not gamble with his mental security. He knows the importance of guarding the gates. He knows that in order to win the war against negative thinking, he must first win the war inside his own mind. The fortress mind is built by daily, deliberate action. It is built by saying no to the things that weaken you, and yes to the things that empower you. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you lay another brick in your fortress. Every time you silence the voice of doubt, you reinforce your walls. Let's break this down. Every thought that enters your mind is either an ally or an enemy. An ally strengthens you, an enemy weakens you. The Machiavellian never allows his mind to be a free-for-all, open to anyone and anything. He asks himself, does this thought strengthen me? If the answer is yes, it stays. If the answer is no, it is executed without hesitation. No mercy. Think about it. Would you ever let an enemy waltz into your home, sit at your table, and poison your family? Of course not. So why would you let negative thoughts, doubts, fears, and insecurities waltz into your mind, sit there, and slowly eat away at your sense of self? It's betrayal, self-betrayal. And the Machiavellian understands that this is the deadliest form of betrayal. Building the fortress mind isn't just about rejecting negativity. It's about building strength. It's about developing the kind of mental toughness that doesn't bend under pressure. It's about building the resilience to remain unshaken in the face of failure, insults, rejection, and any other challenge life throws at you. When insults come, you do not crumble. You observe. When failure strikes, you do not despair. You calculate. When chaos surrounds you, you do not break. You stand still, unmoved, untouchable. The fortress mind is unyielding. It is not affected by the outside world. It stands strong, no matter what. Let's look at it practically. The first step is to establish a daily practice. The fortress mind is built through daily repetition. Every time you stop yourself from indulging in self-pity, you lay another brick. Every time you choose to silence the voice of doubt, you reinforce your walls. Every time you resist distractions, every time you reject fear, you fortify your gates. Slowly, piece by piece, you build an unbreakable fortress inside your mind. Machiavelli himself warned, men who cannot command themselves cannot command anyone else. This is the essence of the fortress mind. If you cannot protect your mental kingdom, the world will plunder you daily. Opinions will control you. Fear will chain you. Doubt will dictate your every move. But if your fortress is secure, nothing can touch you. Not their words, not their envy, not even your own fear. This is why the fortress mind is so rare, because it requires strength. It requires the willingness to reject comfort, to stand alone, and to ruthlessly kill weakness before it grows. But once built, it is unbreakable. The man who possesses this kind of mind becomes untouchable. So ask yourself, how strong are your walls? How secure is your fortress? Are you allowing negative thoughts to sneak past your defenses? Are you letting doubt, fear, or the opinions of others erode your walls? Or are you building them stronger every day, brick by brick, until nothing, no external force, no internal fear can breach them? Once you master the fortress mind, you will not fear the storm. You will be the storm. Nothing will break you. No external force can shake your foundation. No negative thought can find a foothold. And no enemy, internal or external, will ever have the power to defeat you. Say it now in the comments. My mind is a fortress. Nothing breaks me. Carve that sentence into your soul, because the moment you believe it, you begin to live it. And once your fortress stands, you will not fear the storm. You will be the storm.